Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. We
Friday.
are here with a special guest and at a special time. It is
Mhm.
Friday, and we are here early in the morning with Miss Rotisha. Rotisha, I really appreciate you for jumping on with me to be able to kind of give the people in the audience some understanding of what you and I know from a daily life perspective, as well as living years in Colombia at this point. Please, for the people that do not know who you are, what you do, can you kind of give an understanding to them?
Hi, everybody. I am Rotisha, but some people just call me Tisha, and that's fine. I am originally born in Petersburg, Virginia, a little small town. And I say this to tell you guys anybody can make this move, not just somebody, used to hustle and bustle. Anybody can. I left and moved to Atlanta in 2002. And I was doing great. I had an amazing career. My husband has an amazing career. And we were doing fine. Just right before COVID, I just started having this energy of like, I need to get out of here. Didn't know why, didn't understand why at the moment, and that's how this all transpired. So we moved to Santa Marta, Colombia 4 years ago. Actually, in April of 4 years ago, we touched down. In July, we moved here. And we started a restaurant probably the first within the first 6 months of living here. The first restaurant is the Best Wings of Santa Marta. It's 3 years old. We also have a children's park called Vamos Kids that I absolutely love,
Nice.
and that will be 3 years old in July. We did a branch off to create some healthier version food. We created a restaurant called Salud, but we're in the process of changing that location. And yeah, we're expanding Best Queens this year. That's my goal. That's just a little background of how we got here. But we'll dive more deep into it as you ask me more questions.
Nah, that you got me because I'm like, you. It went from like, okay, we were in Atlanta, and then it's like, okay, then we just did this, and then it almost said you said 6 months you started the business, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that is. Let's back up a little bit. Okay, cool. That is so for all the people that have this kind of spirit, because that sounds like something that's right up my alley. Like
Yeah.
these are things that I wouldn't call it low hanging fruit because you still got to put in the work. You still have to do everything, and almost maybe even with more due diligence because it's a different culture and everything else. But you're in Santa Marta, and from the United States, um, people, at least when I first started coming to Colombia, people were like, "What are you doing? Where are you going there?"
Yeah.
And this was me going to Cartagena, and even now, years later, almost a decade, people are still at the fringe of Colombia. They're at Cartagena and Medellin levels, and
That's it.
that is usually where the first-time American would start. So, how did you even put Colombia on the map before we get into Santa Marta?
Well, I did at the time. This is a kicker, guys. I've always been scared to travel out of the country. I was in that fear ritual, just like everybody else, right? I had my passport, I let my passport expire. And now I'm having this spiritual warfare of like, you have to get out of the country and you need to get out of the country now. I didn't know where to go. And at that time, I didn't even know what an expat was, right? And so I just started doing the YouTube search, keep searching, keep searching. Everybody keeps saying the top 10 places, top 10 places. And so we was like, let's just start visiting these places. And
Hmm.
then it just ballooned out of there. Like I didn't know anybody that was an expat. It wasn't like I could call and say, hey, how is that life? What happened? How did you get there? How did you sell everything? How did you move? I didn't have that, I guess, person that I could go to. So I'm like, okay, let's just go and see what happened.
Yeah.
And our first trip we booked was to Turkey, and we stayed there for 3 weeks. And that was freaking mind blowing. Like going from being afraid to go, and then I finally go, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
That's a hell of a first stop.
What? Like, we're not living, y'all. We are not living in America. Like, the experiences you get to have when you just explore, and like receive that, whatever that energy is amazing. We're not living. And that was the first thing. I have so many videos of in Turkey, and I'm just crying, and I'm just emotionally having a spiritual cleanse of like, I fear is self-inflicted. I put fear on myself, and it kept
Yeah.
me from seeing places like this. Like, we stayed on the Mediterranean Sea for 3 weeks in a health retreat. It was mind blowing. I would stay in Turkey if I could, like if it wasn't so far. And that was
Yeah.
just like, and we had all of our trips packed, scheduled. It was like Turkey, Mexico, Colombia. I wanted to do Portugal. We just didn't make it there, right?
Hmm.
And so we came back and we was like, oh my God, we could do Turkey any day. Like, if you guys ever go, don't just go to Istanbul, go to Antalya, Turkey. That ground is sacred. It's amazing. And you're going to meet some of the coolest people. A travel hack is a lot of people travel to Antalya, Turkey, and then go to Africa because it's a lot cheaper, and it's a real dope experience. Um, but so after Turkey, we went to Mexico and we did the River del Maya, the Tulum area, and immediately the day we got there, I was like, nope, this is not for me. It's just not for me. I wanted to get as far away from American food supply system as possible. The moment I see fast food, I get scared. Like, I just be like,
Yeah, like
like
nah.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Walmart. I don't want to see none of it. And so we were just there. I mean, we had a beautiful resort. We had an amazing time, did some amazing excursions with the Mayans. It was an amazing trip, but it just wasn't some place that I felt I could live long term.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I knew I didn't want to be a person that was just traveling from country to country. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I needed a
Because
hub.
it's a lot. A lot of
A
people don't.
lot.
A lot of people, when thinking of moving abroad, and they immediately go to. I feel like they lie to themselves because they're looking for comfort, and it's not like they're actively like they're like, oh, I love the beach because when I'm on vacation, I love going to the beach.
Hmm.
So these things, they're like, you have to be honest with yourself because do you want to live out of a bag and pack up every 3 weeks?
Yes.
Being in the airport takes a lot out of you. Both the people in the airport. I don't know what happens when people walk on the other side of the airport. I think they
Hmm.
become like a different person. The energy shifts, and people just like. So every time I'm in the airport, even if it's just going from Colombia to like Orlando or something, I'm like, man, I'm tired from dealing with all of this. So I agree with you. The thought process of, oh, I'm going to be here for 3 months, and then for the next 3 months, I'm going here. It's like
No.
you get to a certain age and it's like you want some grounding even though you want flexibility.
Yes, I want them both, but I don't want that. I knew I did not want that. And so when we left, so we came back, and then our next trip was Colombia. And at the time, honestly, I had no clue about Santa Marta because I honestly thought we were going to live in Barranquilla. That's what I knew. I just knew
Ah.
we were going to live in Barranquilla. So we did a week Medellin, it was a week Santa Marta, and it was supposed to be a week Barranquilla. And so we get to Medellin, first episode, this first day, elevation messes me up. And
Yep. It's
I'm
gonna
like,
get
oh no. No, I had to pull out my inhaler and everything. I mean, this place is beautiful. Hands down, Medellin is beautiful. Anybody who lives in Colombia wants a place in Medellin.
you. Yeah,
Anybody,
it's
right?
beautiful. Yeah.
It just wasn't what my soul needed at the moment. And I felt like I was leaving Atlanta, going to another Atlanta. And I couldn't,
Oh.
that moment, I just didn't need that. I didn't know what I needed, but it wasn't that. And so I didn't feel no connection to it at all. Um, uh, Left there, came to Santa Marta, and from the airplane. So let me back up. I paid a company because y'all, we don't know Spanish, right? We don't know
Yeah, yeah.
Spanish. So I reached out to, there was a company in Medellin called How to Expat. I'm new to this, right? And I want to do it right. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, we're coming to Colombia. Can you guys help us out? We would love a driver, someone in the home to prep, our food and, be with us, someone to show us properties because we want to move. And we were like, we want to go to Banakia. And they were like, well, we manage Medellin. We really don't have anyone in that area. we have someone in Santa Marta.
Mm.
So I was like, oh man, I really want to know more about Banana because that's where we're going. So when we called the guy, he says, I'm from Banana. So right then and there, I was like, oh, it's meant to be. You
Yeah.
going through all
Yeah.
those it's meant to be. And so we get here and they pick us up from the airport. Immediately we go look at properties. And I didn't know anything about the place. So I'm walking in the properties and I'm like, wait a minute. If we're on the water, like these are oceanfront property. Okay, so how much is it?
Yeah. I bet.
100? Wait a minute, hold on, back up. 700 what? Like that it was like and immediately Banneker went out the way. Like the moment I walked through and I could see the water and I was like, wait a minute. And I was hot. It was so hot the first day I got here. I was burning up, but I was just like $700 to live on the water. Okay, we're moving here. And we just knew it, right? Still hadn't went to the
Mm.
place we've studied and we researched and we were like, Carnival's gonna be there. We're gonna have an amazing time.
Uh,
We knew it. The first place we walked into was the place we lived in for 3 years. And we
see?
saw properties probably for 5 days straight. And it just got better and better. And the price was amazing. And I was just like, me and my husband would come in at night, like, how was we so fooled for so long? How did
Yeah.
we even play in that game? That, like, and then you remember like everybody who left high school and they was like, I'm gonna travel for the year and then I may come to college. They was on point. That's what we was all should have done. And so all of that is coming out, and I'm just like, I even went to a little bit of depression because I was like, yo, how did you fall for that? How did you fall for that 9 to 5? How did you fall for staying in a place that don't like you? How did you fall for keep paying it to a place that really wants you out of there? Like, and you didn't even think it was nothing better, like you couldn't manifest nothing better for yourself. So I did have a moment of like, what? Because after about 3 months you just like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
don't
It hits you like a bag of bricks. You might be walking down the street.
what the fuck.
Yeah.
Yes.
It hit me, and then I actually stopped and was like, the words that came out of my mouth was, "Is this what they feel like?" And I'm on the street on the like I'm walking in Lorelis, and I literally just stopped, and I'm like, is this what they feel like? Like this, that is that.
Crazy.
It makes you pause because it's like, damn, they almost got me. They almost got me
Yeah.
because you think about, like you said, the being in that box of the 9 to 5, and having to do these things and putting your energy into everything is stuff and things. And the reason why that we grew up in a position where we're not taught to look for these things, especially our community, is because we're designed. Everything in America is capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
How can I make money?
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to make money. You often don't even have enough time to do human things because you need to make money.
Make money. Yes.
So when you're running into a scenario of that, and then America's bravado is, America is the best country in the world, and then everything else is secondary. So when we're growing up in America with limited, because they don't show us good life in other places,
Mm-mm.
they always tell us, "Oh, this is a level 4 advisory here, and this has a level 5 advisory here." However, nobody ever says, "Well, the advisory for outside of America going for their citizens into the United States, what is that advisory?" So there's a shield that happens, that a veil that is completely lifted once you actually like see it for what it's supposed to be. It's it's not the snow globe that it appears to be. You know what I mean?
It's like you go through a vortex, a literal vortex. Even when we fly back to the US, it's like you feel the energy is different. You feel like ugh, this frequency do not align with me anymore. Like you're somewhere different. Your body knows, and it's hard to put in words. And the more time that you are away, the further apart you. you align with that energy because it's a different energy. And I can't put I don't know what it is, but I know it's there, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Yes.
I, I talk about it because I'm like, I feel like different here. Like, and you know, it's the subtle things, but things that's from your eye, and you just go, you walk down the street, you know, because my storage is still in South Florida. So walking
Okay.
down the street, and you like expect to greet somebody that's walking directly, like, hey, how you doing? Like
Nothing.
that, just you could go all the way to a store, and outside of the cashier and everything else, not speak to anyone in an
Hmm.
elevator with two. Like, it's just markedly different
There.
once you go back.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tell people, what we just talked about is the aha moment that we have of, oh snap, it's we have it finally off of us, that weight. But I tell people the secondary situation that happens after that is the heaviest portion. The
Hmm.
heaviest portion is when you return back to America and have to put something back on that you now know, because in America you don't know how heavy it is. It's just on you. But when it gets off you and you're like, okay, I gotta go pick this back up just to be a part of this again, go see my family, my friends, to go pick up
Hmm.
something I need, whatever the case is, it's like, okay, this is even heavier than I thought it was. I immediately like, I'm gonna be in and out of here quickly. You know
Quickly.
what I mean?
Oh my God. So when we first moved, that first year and a half, we were going home every month. Idiots, right? So I tell all my clients now, do not make that same mistake. Then I got to the point where I did not go home at all. I didn't go home for like 2.5 years. I couldn't take the energy. I couldn't take my vibration lowering the moment I got to the airport, lowering it, just seeing my people not coming up out of this matrix and everybody big. Everybody big. And it's
Yeah.
like, guys, we gotta show discipline. Like we gotta back up. We know that at this point, everybody know we're being poisoned. I don't care. Everybody knows it now, and they're still eating. They're still
It's getting
buying.
worse.
It's getting worse.
You
Everybody
seen the
ain't.
bread thing on the internet now? Have you seen the bread? They squishing the bread and the bread come back.
Oh my God,
They like,
it's so
what is in this
bad,
bread where it's just like you could squish it all the way like this and then the bread go.
but they still gonna eat it. They're still gonna eat it, and that was the frustration because when I first came, I offered everybody. I was like, "Y'all come. I'm gonna buy a big place. We're gonna all live in there. We're gonna create content. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." How many people came? Now
I know.
everybody's calling me now, like, "Oh, I need to get a place. I need to find out how to come." Now the
You were
visas.
right. You were right. You
You
were
were
right.
right. Now
How
they
many
got to
times
pay
you hear
more
that
for
of
the
me?
visa. They got to go all through these different loops. Now the cost of living is like, y'all, what are y'all doing? It wasn't just about the cost. It's about taking yourself away from what they're doing there with the air, with the water, with the stress, with the TV, with this over
Oh
sexualization,
man.
with the food, with the vitamins, with the doctors. It was like, how can I stop it? And this was the only answer was like, get up and get out. And it was that easy, right?
Yeah.
No, even before doing it, it was like, okay, yeah, we could really do this. Like, and it was the craziest part, right? I look at a lot of signs. Our path was so easy. It was like the easiest thing that could happen. Everything was aligning, nothing was pushing against it. And I was like, okay, this is meant to happen. We're supposed to be here. And every year, our manifestations getting stronger, getting
See.
more instant. Every year, our spirituality getting stronger. Like everything we say we want just happening in formation. Like I can see when they put the people in my aura. It's crazy. And that's something that happens here in Santa Marta. Everybody who moved here started going through these, and I just be sitting back watching them, like
Yeah.
going same thing I went through. And they're like, this place is spiritual. And I was like, that's what I'm trying to tell everybody, but not tell everybody type of thing, you know?
Yeah. Nah, I
It's
got you.
it's crazy. So when I do have a client, my first thing to them is like, what is your why? Why are you trying to leave? Because the first time you get frustrated because the lines take too long or something's not the way you want or there's trash on the street or you're going to want to go home. So what is your why? Your why can't be like, oh, I hate you know who.
Yeah.
You need to have a why for
A
yourself,
real why.
a real
So
why.
You bring up something because I was on a podcast this week with Dr. Leslie, and he asked me, "What do you do when that happens?" And a lot of what I do, and it's so funny because you described you doing a relocation tour the same exact way that you and I have both decided that, like, hey, we need to put this information together for people because we are those people that actually did the steps that we turned around and put. But he said, when you run into this crossroads, when you're there, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Outside of the resources, this practicality thing, you need a real estate person, you need these kind of things. But a lot of the conversations that I like to get into on this platform are nuanced conversations that a lot of people don't discuss. But you
Mm-hmm.
and I both know that we're going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you asked the why, but at this age, I think that people need to visualize their why versus just keeping it up in here because you know that we're overworked, overstimulated. How can you actually reference something that is a big jumble already in your head? So the things that I challenge people to do, because I tell them moving abroad is work. No, it's not hard work. It's work though.
Yeah.
Um, Understanding two things. The first thing is what you are leaving. You need to understand why you are looking to go. Because
Yeah.
one thing, you might say, oh, it's only five things, but then you go write it down and you look, and that five has turned into 25. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize when they just take some time and actually look at what they are upset about, food
Mm-hmm.
quality, police brutality, orange president, whatever the case is,
Yeah.
those things need to be visualized because you talked about manifestation and different things of that nature. You need to visualize what you are leaving, and then in
Mm-hmm.
the same term you need to go on what you are looking for.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to be intentional about what you are looking for. That way, those two things will not only help you shape why you're leaving, but it can also help you shape where you are going. Because if the red flags are there where you're looking to go to, why would
Mm-hmm.
you go where the same
Well,
exact red flags lead? And if what you're looking for is not present there, why would you go to the place where it is not present? So when you do run into that situation of I'm frustrated, now I can go back to my checklist because then you can
yeah.
make a decision. You can make a decision. Okay, maybe I need to leave or go somewhere else, but my whys are right here, and my what I'm looking for is are directly right here. Keeping
Mm-hmm.
this all up in your head, I think that's the fastest way to failure. I
Mm-hmm.
think once you're an adult, because you're just in America inundated with just way too much information to have clear understanding of what you need to do and a plan to get executed. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And we also got to know too when we get frustrated, that's something we need to be working on internally with ourselves, right? So it's not about the situation, is how we're going to respond to it that shows growth and elevates us, and we break down other levels. So the things that we went when I first got here, man, I couldn't understand the bank process. I was like, why does it take 4 hours? Why do I have to print out my business paperwork every time I come here? Y'all know it's my business. I couldn't understand that, but I was stuck in that matrix. I was stuck in that selfishness of like everything should be working on my time when I want it in my way. No, I'm moving to a new country. I need to accept how they're doing their things. And I promise you, the moment I stopped being so frustrated, those instances went away. Like it was like I was in and out of the bank. Oh, Tigo didn't bother me this month. And all of these things, they won't coming from me because I wasn't giving it the energy. I would just laugh at it, or I would prepare myself if I know, okay, today I need to go in here and handle bank accounts for my clients, do different things. Let me take some extra work so I can do work. And I don't look at it like, oh, I got to go to the bank. It's going to be 4 hours. And then if I do that, my whole day just spirals out of control of stuff that frustrates me. So it was a lot of growth that happened my first year and a half of just like cleansing bad behavior. Honestly, it was bad behavior of myself. And so I tell my clients that when you first come here, you're shocked it takes 30 minutes sometimes for a drink to come to your table. But now it doesn't bother me. I'm at dinner sometimes 4, 5, 6 hours, and we're having an amazing time. In America, we're
Yeah.
rushing. We got to
Yeah,
drink,
and
we got to
you're
eat fast.
rushing. they're rushing you to flip the table.
It's
Like,
like, no, it's not that here. It's an experience. You go out to dinner, you have an experience. You talking to your friends. You don't have no cell phones. We're having a great time, and we're focused on each other. And that's what Colombia gave me. That moment of just like quieting the world down,
yeah,
and I had time to like center myself, cleanse myself, forgive myself, focus on myself, and build and create whatever that I wanted to do. Like, I want to do this. Let's get it done. And it just gave me that space, right? I didn't want to just go and do the same thing I was doing back home, like hanging out, partying, going to brunch every day. I do go to brunch almost every Sunday, but I didn't want to do the exact same thing. So this was what my soul needed, and Santa Marta chose me. That's
not
it.
that's real. And you're talking about something that, like I said, most people don't speak about. And I challenge the people that are watching this. When is the last time that you had the peace to
Mm,
be able just to be who you are as a person? Like, humanity is the only thing that we have on this earth, like as people. And oftentimes, because of American capitalism, we are stripped from that. We're literally just like, it's just like robotic. And we have the opportunity, um, with traveling and seeing things. And I tell people, because not, here's the thing. Everybody is not in the position to travel now.
yeah.
So I've got to understand that and give them something that they can use even without leaving the United States, leaving their state. I tell people, like, think outside the box. And you have to drive your car. And I say this is because you may not be able to go book a ticket, but flight ticket. But you'd be surprised if you jump on Viter, you jump on Airbnb experiences in your local city,
Mm-hmm.
just doing something that you have never done. You're
Yes.
looking to try to at least take one step. Maybe you can't take a jump or a leap, but you could at least take one step to at least trying to get back to you as a human being. Because I always ask adults, when's the last time? Do you have any hobbies? And when's the last time you were able to do any of them? And you talk to people in America, it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like,
Tell me what.
hobby what? Like, hobby lobby? Like, what are you saying? Like, I don't have the time for this stuff. And that was one of the things that I saw not only in my own household, but in other people that I was meeting out here, that they were able, whether they had kids or
We
adults,
do it
like, oh,
all.
we going horseback riding. We going
We look,
here. I went river. Listen, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from the inner city. I
yeah.
went river rafting. Now I signed
Yes.
for river rafting. Now that was
Huh.
adventurous enough for me, but Brother James had me doing river rafting, river ring, and
Wow.
caving, which I didn't know. We were either signed up for the last two, and I did not know what river ring and caving was. However, once you start, you have to do the other two, three to get uh,
To the
to back
other
to the
side. Oh my
between
goodness.
walking. I'm 6'3", walking waist deep. So I was sad for the short people, waist deep in river water and moving around and for miles, and then going into a dark cave with a flashlight that was going in and out, bats
Oh my
hissing, things of
goodness.
that nature. However, I challenged myself that day and woke up and said, "Well, damn."
Uh-huh.
I wasn't expecting that to be in me, and I was out there like, whew. But
Yeah.
it gave me a sense of accomplishment. It challenged me to do something that I probably wouldn't have done
Would have
all the
never.
way without it. But I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, me being where I was at in South Florida, like the other day, I said, anybody that knows me, yes, I'm tall, but I'm scared of heights. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like heights, but I do all the height stuff. But the other
Uh-huh.
day, I said, you know what? I'm done with being scared of heights. Like, I'm over it. I'm just going to just start not being scared of heights anymore. And literally, and I just see Camilo jump on. And Camilo will tell you that anytime he shows me like a property and we go somewhere, I'm like the one that is farthest away from the window. But you get some sort of like feeling about yourself, almost like gas in your car that you never had before.
Yes.
Like, maybe you've been putting unleaded in it, but this is high octane. This makes you feel like you wake up and you can do things that you might not be able to do or be able to afford to do in the United States. And it's just like once you have that kind of freedom, it's no way that you go back into like the shadows of whatever you thought life was in the past.
Was. Exactly. You start doing things that you didn't even know you were interested in. I didn't learn how to swim until I moved here. Like in my 40s, I was just learning how to swim. And it was the most amazing freeing experience because I'm like, okay, I'm living out here on the beach. We're on the boat on the weekends. Everybody's jumping in. I have to figure this thing out.
Yeah,
And just hiking. I love it now. White us paddling in the beach. Love that. Different things. I do CrossFit every morning now. I'm addicted to it. Stuff that I would never have time to do back home, especially with running the brick and mortar businesses and doing all the things that we do digitally online. And I still am in the bed most nights by 8:30. It
yeah.
doesn't seem possible. I'm never exhausted. When I worked a 9 to 5, I was tired when
Yep.
I got home, like exhausted. So it's something about a spell in that process. They don't want you to have extra time to do other stuff, the businesses or creating the things that we need to create for ourselves. It's
Hmm.
weird because I have so much energy now and I'm juggling way more, not just my businesses, other people's businesses. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy this the things that you're allowed to do here, and we see it as a privilege, but some people that live here might not see it that way. But when I got here, I was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't put it in words. I was like, is it like, back in the day when we hung out with all of our cousins and they all came to the house and it was always
I knew you
fun.
was going. I knew that's what you were hitting on because
And
that wowed me. Like,
it's that feeling like when everything was safe, right? And the only thing you had to worry about was that white van. That's it. That was
but
the only danger we had was that white van. Don't get caught by that white van. And
that's
it's
funny.
that feeling. And it's crazy that we had to leave the place we grew up in just to feel that again. It's like we sit at the beach for hours all day, and that's like the best day ever. And the beach don't cost us $100 for a chair and $60 for a drink and 300 for a bottle, and
Yep.
we can get on jet skis for $10.
Yep.
It's 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 a magical space. It's a
That
magical space.
what you describing made me think about my first December here, and that was
Mm,
my real understanding of it. Like I moved in March, so like Holy Week was definitely different because they were carrying
yes,
Jesus down the street. So I was like,
yes,
okay, this is going to be different. Like you know how they say where two or more are gathered, you can have like. I'm like, why is there a church outside of my house and there's not a church outside of my house? There were literally people just so, but that wasn't the familial thing. I was literally just like, okay, so this is going to be different. But my first December here was that was when I realized like what you described, like when you would have all your cousins and your family and that safe feeling. December here, I knew things were going to be different because I texted my lawyer, and
mm,
it was around the end, like Thanksgiving, our time, whatever the case was. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you in January,
yeah,
because I'm on like holiday." And I look, and I'm like, "It's the end of November. What are you talking about? You gonna get back to me in January?" Shout out to Daniel, but he kind of like gave me my first like, and I said, "Hold on, wait." So the whole month, and then I'm like starting to like poke around with other things, and they're like, yeah, the court system that's closed until like the 15th or 20th of January from the end of November, and then I'm starting to see more and more understanding of, okay, everybody at the crib with their folks,
mm,
everybody is hanging out. I love the candle ceremony where you go
yes,
out with. That's one of my favorite times because it's about attention. You
yeah.
got specific candles and everybody's together eating, drinking, having a good time, all in community with other families doing this. And it's just like, damn.
That's what
Like,
we
we
lost.
know what that's like, and we know 1000% that it's not like that anymore.
And look, and you want to preserve it. Like you so excited about it. You telling them like, y'all don't stop doing this. Don't
Yep.
change this up. Keep the
They're like,
family more. Like you excited about it because you like, oh, that's what we had at one point.
Yep.
Don't get caught up in this hype. Don't think that what we're doing in America is the big thing, y'all. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
shy away from it. It's a magical place, and I think every year, by now, I was like, if we don't like it, what happens? But every year, it gets another layer of like just juiciness of learning. I still don't know a lot about this place in 4 years, and I'm outside every day, all day,
I
and
love
I'm
that though.
yes,
Because it,
and
it gives you more to opportunity to be like wowed by the things that you are like. And if you haven't been to certain, like, because Colombia is so diverse,
yes,
you're going to have a hard time seeing it all because you don't unless you just really don't like it. I just haven't run into that city yet. But you're
yeah,
like, okay, you're here, and then you're like, well, I only had 4 days here, but I might just stay a little bit longer because I'm enjoying myself. Like that was how San Andres did me. First time I went to
oh,
San
I haven't been
Andres.
yet. I
See,
haven't been yet.
see,
Yes.
there's more reason to continue to see it. And that's why people are always like, oh, well, go somewhere else. And I'm like, but I haven't seen this part of Colombia that I want to see yet.
That I
Like, can
want to
you
see
relax?
here. Yeah.
Can you
I
relax?
want
Because
to
there are
go up
so many
Ada,
beautiful spots.
Mania, Bucarango. What is it?
Bucaramanga, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
tough one.
I want to go
Say it three
all of
times.
those places. I want to see it all, like Valle du Par. I want to go everywhere here, and even in Medellin. Medellin is so big.
I've seen some spots where I'm like,
It's
like El Retiro. That place looked like you could eat off of the streets. It's like the cleanest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, it's an hour or so from Medellin, and I'm like, man,
crazy.
I
The
wouldn't have
places.
known if not somebody would have taken me there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty. And what we're talking about is this stuff because I don't think everybody that's watching this understands what's really being said because we have to have had low drawbridges coming from America to be able. America has you having a drawbridge like this. If you're not in my family or my inner circle, I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. Anything that happens and what we're seeing on the news is, well, it's not my house, so it doesn't concern me until it
Mm-hmm.
is your house. And then now you want sympathy and empathy and everything else from it. Whereas when you move abroad, if you do not have a low drawbridge, you will not have any of the experiences that we are talking about because your drawbridge will be too high. You won't be invited to
Exactly.
places. You won't feel comfortable going to places. You won't start
Mm-hmm.
to learn the language and learn that even in the slowest city in the United States, is still faster than Colombia.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay though.
It's
You don't
okay
you're not
though.
supposed you're not a machine. You have a heart, you have a soul. You are designed to be in community and commune with other people. Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
do need to go to work and make money, but that is not your life. Your life is the lives you can impact, the relationships that you can build. These things that we are talking about all came because we had to go lower our drawbridge. You don't think your drawbridge was high before we left? With the
Mm-hmm.
thing like the stuff that you got to deal with, the navigation of relationships and how people operate in the United States. I get it. But somebody watching this needs to make sure that they're hearing, hey, we lowered our drawbridge, and what came with those are the blessings that we allowed to flow in our life because we said we want different.
We want different, and then we've now had amazing experiences that no one can take back from me. I have an amazing support system here in Colombia. I have my sisters, I have my team. So, and then it's a lot that goes into that. That's part of that why of like, I don't care what happens. I want a different life. And that's all we do. We just like, I don't care what it is. I want, and once I got here, I was like, oh, I can live anywhere. You literally can live anywhere, guys. That fear is not real. It's self-inflicted. You can live anywhere. You can fight for it. You can do whatever you want to do for it, but you can live anywhere.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the part I want to shake into my family, like my mom and them. They're like, "But I'm old. You think I can?" Yes, this is. Please, you'll get years back on your life. Like
Because
the
the United
joy
States
that
is taking years off of your life. And people don't even realize it, but they're saying it. And they're like, I just don't watch TV or don't pay attention to anything on the internet anymore because it's just overwhelming.
we. Mhm.
you don't even know what's going on because everything that is going on is designed to where it's like now you just in the dark.
Yeah.
You have it's like it's it's an opportunity right now for the people that are looking and considering moving abroad. Like there's something that yes you can do it, but you do need to do it the right way
Yes.
because we organically did relocation tours the right way. Like we did research. You went, you had to narrow it down to a list. You started to go places. You spent time there. You went to go see properties. Most people are not even thinking that far, and
Mm-mm.
I realized that because when I left, I wasn't under duress. Like it wasn't. Well, I was, but it wasn't. We are under duress. It was a me thing. Like the we is a everybody in the United States is in at a crossroads scenario. Do I stay? Do I
Mm-hmm.
go? We've
Mm-hmm.
not even made it to 6 months, let alone another 3.5 years after that. So this is a bigger, broader scenario where a lot more people are at the crossroads where when you and I left, it may not have been so we may
Yeah.
need to get out of there abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about these relocation tours, the relocation tours are designed to not take you on vacation. You can go do that your own. Like, what's the
Yeah.
point of that when you're looking to move abroad and get actual valid resources? Because rigidity is something that America sells us. This is black and white. We're used to this. This goes by the book. Even from a real estate perspective, this is a licensed realtor. This is an MLS listing. You can go. Things are not set up that way, and not in just in Colombia, but
No, not
abroad.
at all.
So one of the biggest and key things I found out, and I can only speak on Colombia, but relationships. Relationships are the one of the biggest tools that you are going to have in positive success rate in moving abroad. So if you don't have them, you need to have a trusted resource that does have them. Because I'm seeing, I hear in the groups, we've got a Black and Medellin chat down here, and I'm hearing like, oh, well, how much is the digital nomad visa? I'm getting a quote from a lawyer that says $1,500. And I said, whew,
Mm-hmm.
somebody is trying to grease you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these things don't cost that much. And the opportunity for people to be taken advantage of, I think, coming from the United States, being in a scenario of crisis, um, relocation tours are designed to help bridge that gap between your want to leave and your ability to leave. And it makes sense for not only yourself, but for the community that is to receive you because displacement and gentrification is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think relocation tours also do a great job on what we can do as far as educating people where no education is provided. What's your take on it?
I believe it's absolutely needed, guys. I did it. I would have never just came over to Colombia trying to figure out a realtor. One, we don't even have MLS, right? So we don't have the system where you can just go on there and look for a property. You might see a couple of things online, but it's not the full spectrum. And most of the things online are going to be higher price because they're hoping one of you guys log in. So I could paid a company to come over and do it, just to do it the right way. I didn't know the language. I didn't know where I was going. I wanted a amazing landing space when I got here. And it was the most beautiful experience, right? And I think that's what helped us move. It's absolutely needed. You're going to make so many mistakes. You're going to overpay in every step of the way. It's okay. It's fine. It won't break the bank, but it's going to happen if you don't use resources like us. There's things you can do in the states that will save you more money prior to with your visa and moving abroad that you should do prior to, and you need to know those things from us. There's places you should move into, right? There's companies you should not deal with. I have a list, okay, that I would never allow any of my clients to deal with because I have been burnt by those same people. So there's things you don't know. There's buildings that don't have generators, so when the power go out, the power is out. There's place that floods. There's place that don't allow guests. There's so many. There's places no hot water. How would you know all of these things? Right? What neighborhoods to stay in? So you need our resources. And then once you're here, say for instance you purchase a home, How do you go to register the title? How do you go to do all of the other things, pay bills? This is why we are here, because I made mistakes. I've learned from those mistakes, and I've been doing it now for over 3 years. Same as you. So we all need someone, same as RJ. So everybody needs someone on the ground to make a beautiful transition. Or you're gonna end up like most people, like, oh, I'm gonna go home because it's not that easy, because I can't meet friends. Well, when you have people like us, we have a whole group of friends. We have people that we moved over and that have
Hmm.
a trajectory of people that you can be influenced into, or you can meet and do all these different things. We know where to go. We know the things you guys are going to like. So that's why we're here. And that's why we do what we do. So you can have an amazing experience. I had a beautiful experience. If the same company was here that did um, that helped me and my husband move over, I would be sending everybody to them. But they left and went to Switzerland, so there was a space. It was needed. People were calling me, and I'm like, okay, all right, let's get everything in order, and I have to be organized. And so that's how that came about. And now it has ballooned, and we have our tribe here, and it's growing. But you need a tribe. I don't. I
Yeah.
think it would be really hard. Like we thought we were going to go to Africa at one point, but that, if I didn't know someone truly on the ground that was going to be with us, and that's a hard task to have, to
Yeah.
take on. And to me, Colombia is way more developed. I don't care what nobody says. Than in different parts of Africa. Y'all got to start
Hmm.
trying and don't be fooled. Um, so yeah, definitely that is very important. Even with the visas, how you said, here's my take. You can do your own visa and go through all of that back and forth and then communicating with them and the energy of doing your own visa by any means.
But you go right on ahead.
You can go
I
right
am not.
ahead.
I don't have the time for that.
I don't even do my own visa, right? And we do visas, right? I don't want the energy. So you can do that. Or you can pay someone to help you do that, which I think is the smartest route, because they do that all the time. Things change so quickly.
Yes.
When they needed the FBI background check, that happened. That
Like
it, it wasn't no letter
like
going
in
out to
like
nobody.
hours.
Yes, within hours, you could have had applications in the system, and it boom kicked back. And so there's different things that happen that you need someone who does it every day. And to me, just me, an attorney is not doing visas every day, right? I mean, yeah, just us. Attorneys not doing visas every day, so they don't know all the changes that happen. And then what end up happening, people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go with attorney because I just feel comfortable with going with attorney," and then they always end up calling me because something happened, or they said I should have had this, and now they've canceled my application because I ran out of time. All of these, now you have to resubmit. There's nothing I can
Yeah.
do. You got to resubmit. So you
Yeah.
wanna you wanna get with people who are on the ground, who are living here. We're not just traveling here. We're not just taking pretty pictures at the beach. Like, yeah, check out Colombia, but let me help you do this. No, we live here for years now. We've made connections. I work with a lot of people here in Colombia, in Santa Marta, and that was one of the reasons why I picked this place, because I'm a business owner, so I'm thinking business.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
can I develop? Where can I build? Where can it expand? And that's why Santa Marta just checked everything. Medellin, I was going to have to pay the same numbers I was paying for my restaurants in Atlanta. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I see Santa Marta being so much bigger than Cartagena. I see it rivaling Miami in the next 10 years. Like once all of these buildings go up and
Once they get a
infrastructure,
direct flight from the states,
it's coming. It has to
I'm
come.
certain.
So
You
those
see what
are
they
the
did in
things.
Ocho Rio, so it'll come with the people, for certain. Because Ocho Rio's didn't have an airport, and now you can get straight into to Ocho.
What happened was we had it at one point and it wasn't being promoted properly, and then the airlines couldn't figure out what cities to make the direct flights from, because when you get to migration they ask you, where did you come from? You just say Estados Unidas, you don't say what city. And so they're trying to change how they ask the question so they can know where to offer the direct flight. So fingers crossed that it's coming.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that it's coming. But definitely, just like what RJ said, guys, you have to use someone on the ground that knows this process, that know these areas, that know different landlords you don't want to mess with, that, just just know the heartbeat of the city, right? And that just want everybody to come and experience and have an amazing time like we've had. That's my
Yeah.
thing. Like it hurts me when somebody calls me after they've left and like, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to
Yep.
do. I feel like I want y'all to experience what we've experienced here in Colombia.
Nah, and you know you bring up a good point, and that's why I have it. We're even on this call right now because I think the spirit of a lot of people don't. And I'm a big person on we can go farther together, and
Yes.
everybody. So I want to do it all and I want to do everything. And here we're providing authenticity because some people may look at, oh well, Rotisha does relocation tours and RJ does relocation tour. They are competing businesses. Like, no, I've never even been to Santa Marta. Why would I sit here and act like I can tell you what the hell goes on in Santa Marta? And
Yeah.
these things are that's one thing that I'm starting to see, and I need the audience to be able to sift through is there are people that are willing to sell you relocation and destinations that they don't even live at.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
make sure you guys are being aware as you see things continuously rolling out because people are willing. Right now, I said it's a crossroads for everybody. So that means that
Mm-hmm.
people are at crisis, that they're potentially going to make emotional reactions based off of what is going on. There are
Mm-hmm.
sharks in the water. There are
Yes.
people knowing that you are
Story.
in dire shape that will gladly take your money. That's why I said we don't take you on any vacation. There's no reason for me to bring you to Medellin and take you to Guatape or any other places like that. Because that has nothing to do with living in Medellin. That is something you can do on your own leisure.
Your own.
However,
Yeah.
I've seen it across the board. People looking to do tours of like you can come live here and they don't live there.
Yeah.
That is going to be what you are going to see more often. So you may have to sift through. Now I can say that I live here and she lives there, and we have been on the ground trying to put together the resources, or actually putting together the resources that somebody will need, and having tried and true experiences. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, well, now we need to add this layer because more people are starting to ask for this that is going to help them get to where it is that they need to be once they move down here. So the
Correct.
authenticity is so super important, and the opportunity for people like us as we continue on. I think you know Akeem, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I know you know Akeem because Akeem was also somebody that said, "You ain't heard about the wing spot in Santa Marta?" So I definitely. But even when Akeem, as people, as we continue, because what's going to happen? People in May may decide in June that in December they're leaving. They might get a reason between now and December to actually be like, "All right, that's enough. I'm out."
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
as Medellin, Cartagena, Santa Marta, Cali, places where things pop up, we will do our best, as like my best, to try to continue to bring resources on that will allow you to say, okay, well, hey, look, if it's not Medellin, maybe it's Santa Marta. And that's why we've even had conversations with expats that are in Ghana and expats that are in Panama,
Yeah.
expats that are in Qatar, because everybody, it might not be this place for you. You love Turkey, but it was
Correct.
too far. It
It's too
was,
far.
once you got there, you realized, yes, this is great. But,
Yeah.
so we try to operate within this community as a collective of we can go further together. That is why this conversation even came about, because I would love for somebody looking on this platform to say, well, maybe I should check Santa Marta out and Medellin. Yes, we implore you to do both. That way you
Yeah.
land on
Please.
where it is that you
You
want
want
to
to be?
go. Like,
Yeah.
we can't dictate that to you. All we can do is provide the platform and the resources for you to be able to do so. So that's why we just started having this conversation. Rotisha, I look to hopefully have continued conversations about this because I feel like
We
America
we have
is
a lot more
going
to
to
talk about.
give us, they're going to give us reason to have these conversations because people need to hear from something that they can actually use versus just excitement with no, okay, now what do I do with this information?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We definitely we still it's so many different topics we need to talk about. It's so much that we need to educate them on, um, and just how to sustain their life abroad. We haven't even tapped into that piece of it,
Because that's
because
what
that
people ask.
party and stuff gets played out, right? And so we're definitely going to be getting back online again. And yes, guys, there is no competition. You know how many clients contact me about Medellin? Now I have somebody who I can send them to, because that's another animal, right? You have to have
Yeah.
somebody on the ground in
You can't
Medellin.
just
There's a
wing
lot
it.
of
The neighborhoods are too unique to wing it. The difference between if you're in an old building, you might have bigger units, but you might have to walk up the
hmm
stairs. They might not have 24-hour
Yep.
security. Some places have gyms, Turkish baths, saunas, co-working spaces, and pools in the building, and some of them don't. You can spend
You
like
might be
you're
in
in
an
the
area
United
that
States.
floods a lot. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I did not even see the flooding, but they're closing some places in, like here, like the Medellin River, because they're like the flooding. We're not even going down there. I haven't.
Yeah.
I live on a hill, so it's like I don't deal with that. But these
So
are all
it's
nuances that when you
mhm.
go, you're like, damn. Kelly came on our relocation tour, and then she had that aha moment. I
Yeah.
knew this was on my radar, but she said I checked the other places off because I knew that I did not have these resources that I now know that I needed, and the eyeballs to say like these are all different neighborhoods. The people that live in the neighborhoods, the landscape
Different.
of the neighborhood, is it family
Different. Yeah.
friendly? Like all of those nuances are so important that you probably are too overwhelmed to even think about.
Exactly. Exactly. And you need to know these things because they matter. They matter. Like there's people that move in different buildings and they're like, "Oh, the power's out," and I'm like, "Our power never go out. You wouldn't know if your building have a generator. You don't know any of these things. We literally keep a list on every building that we will put expats in. We go see everything before we even bring it to you guys. So it's a lot of moving parts, but I
Yes.
love what we do because we're giving people hope. And a lot of my clients say to me, "Thank you for showing me that I had another choice. Like I thought I was going to have to remain there and suffer and be stressed out." And then there's so many clients that come that don't want people to know about their business. So we do a lot of things in secret. Like I can't post everything, and I think I get clients because of that, because I'm
Yeah.
so private in that regard, because people are buying second homes, people are buying properties to retire, or people are
Yeah.
working abroad that you know and so there are so many moving parts, guys. So if you have any questions like that, we know how to do all of those things for you, set you up so you can and then work abroad. But it's so many ways to make this thing happen, but you need someone like us that have the resources. I'm grateful for RJ for having me on. I want to definitely do this more, and give the information
Yeah.
to our people. Yeah, and see where this goes for sure.
Shout out to Miss Chalet for making the connection. As always,
Yes.
Miss Chalet and I have, and that is about the community that I see here as we get kind of wrapped up is the people you will like you said it earlier, you'll find your tribe out. You might be in a position where you're like, hey guys, I'm thinking of moving abroad, and you're in the United States, and your friends, your family, your coworkers are like, what the hell are you thinking? Why would you go leave abroad? That's fine, because everybody over here got that exact same thing. And what you find now, not everybody's going to be your cup of tea, but when you do find
Yeah.
people that are of like mind and spirit, you're going to be like,
You
damn,
like it.
like,
Yep.
bro, we done locked in. Like, we done known each other for like
Yeah.
a long time, and it's like now I think Michelet once the election night happened, I think she almost called me on like a Friday, like she called me like a Friday or something like that, and by Sunday we were four Americans, two Afro Colombians, and Afro business having a conversation about what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
Is this somewhere that you can come to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that are willing to like, let's come together as a community. Let's put the resources
Period.
together. Let's actually
Yep.
do something versus just sitting here in this bubble of thought. Ideas are great, but you need to get off your ass and do something and make
And do
something happen
something.
because it's something happening right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we got to be
Mhm.
able to provide this. Rotisha, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I hope
No
anybody get
problem.
in trouble for watching this at their desk. It is
Yes, thank you
available on
guys.
YouTube at Black Expat Life in Colombia. Rotisha, please tell them where they can find you, information, how they can reach out
Yes,
to you, those kind of things.
absolutely. Right now, I'm just on Instagram, y'all. I'm trying to come over to TikTok and YouTube. Yes, this is a lot. This is a lot. So you can catch me at you can catch me at Rotisha's World on Instagram and Relocate with Rotisha's World website. You can catch all of my content there, and yeah, and you can come see me in Santa Marta.
Yes, definitely. Rotisha, I want you to have a blessed day and thank you so much for not only having this conversation with us, but for what you're doing completely by yourself and being able to uh, merge these two conversations, these two people that are looking to be able. Courtney Bowden of Black Expat Stories, he said, this is the next great migration. And the
Yes.
opportunity for us to be helpful pioneers, because we've already done it. So we're actually re-chiseling the pathways that we've already came down. And the opportunity, considering the freedom that we now know that we have and the life
Mhm.
trajectory that has changed versus what we were on before we left, it's an opportunity for people that look like us to actually shape a completely new life in the most positive way
A
ever. So,
completely new life, and you can build it the way you want to build it, guys. Even not even knowing Spanish, like, yes, you want to learn it, but guys, I built all of this with not even knowing Spanish. So that means you can do anything, just like they moved to America and don't know English. You can do anything. So stop letting fear keep you in a place that you don't feel comfortable, because that's the one thing I'll take this away. For the first time living in Colombia, I am actually a human being. I'm not a black woman. I'm not a nigga. I am a human being. And that is what peace feels like for me and my family that comes here. We're experiencing life finally for the first time as a real person. And that is why I'm so grateful for this land. So thank you so much, RJ, guys. Thank you guys
yes,
for watching. And we will see you guys soon. Ashe.
yes, for certain. Talk to y'all soon.
Ciao, ciao.